In my ongoing efforts to lift the hood and look at the tool industry in a way that others may not show you, today we're going to go over the Mac number 8 flyer. This one covers July 11th through August 7th of 2022. And before all you fanboys get your panties in a bunch and accuse me of bashing anybody, like you've done, I just want to say that Mac actually has one very good deal in this flyer that I think is worth pointing out, because as a consumer, you might do yourself a favor by taking advantage of it. And it also shows that I'm not in it to bash everybody. I'm simply going to call out bad deals or deceptive practices or marketing techniques where they can work as kind of a trap for you as a consumer. And I'd rather you be a little more aware of what different companies do, because it's not just specific to the tool industry. Certainly, lots of companies employ these strategies in an attempt to get your money, and I want to make sure that you're getting value where you find it. So let's take a look at this flyer, and there's a few deals in here that I want to point out, because one, like I said, is particularly good, and there's others not so much. Right on the cover, they advertise their new high torque brushless impact kit. And if we open to page 1, for $534.99, you get their 20 volt max half-inch drive high torque brushless impact wrench kit, which contains the half-inch impact wrench at 1,200 foot-pounds of breakaway torque, glass-filled nylon body. That's just a fancy way of saying that it withstands harsh environments and some chemicals and stuff. As a half-inch drive anvil, which you already know because they're advertising it as a half-inch drive impact, and it has an LED light on it. But that's standard fare for these kinds of things, so there's nothing special there. And when you look further down the page, that kit comes with not one but two 5 amp hour 20 volt batteries and a charger. Now for $534.99, that's actually a rather good deal. And I'm pretty sure that the Mac dealers would prefer that you didn't take advantage of it, because one thing that Mac does is when they put a deal in their flyer like that, they lower the price for the consumer, but they don't generally lower the price for the dealers. So the dealers have to pay their full amount. The difference here is that they can't charge as much for it because it's advertised in the flyer for less. So when the retail price is lowered, but their costs stay the same, that just drops their profit margin, and that's not fun for the dealer. But if he can sell enough of these and make up for that on margin and make sure that he gets his money collected in time, then it might work very well for the dealer. But you know, I didn't like selling out of the Mac flyer when I was a Mac dealer because of that. And I always wanted to make sure that I was able to get the best deals I could for my customers, but also I had to make money. And when Mac puts together a flyer deal like this, it's generally very good for them, of course, as a company. It's generally very good for the consumer if you're getting a legitimately good deal, maybe not so much for the dealer because he's stuck with lower profit margin. And in this business, profit margin is everything. Now, of course, it is any retail business, but particularly a tool truck, because tool trucks are low volume retailers, and we all need to make a buck. So it's a little difficult for the dealer on this one, but again, for the consumer, rather good deal. And I think that, you know, for the price, what you get is pretty good. Now, when you're comparing this to other tools on the market, you can compare it to the DeWalt one, but the DeWalt and the Mac impacts are the same. They're both built in the DeWalt factory because DeWalt and Mac are owned by Stanley Black & Decker. They just put a red body on it. It's branded as Mac as opposed to the yellow body and branded as DeWalt. So that's really comparing the same tool to itself. You're not really getting a fair comparison there. If you wanted to compare this to other tools of the same quality, compare it to Milwaukee, compare it to Snap-on. I think you can even favorably compare it to the Mako offering. And I think you'll find that for the money, this is a pretty good deal. Now, can you get better values elsewhere? Maybe, and that depends on that depends on how you measure value. For example, you'll pay more for a Milwaukee kit, but not a whole lot more. You can find good deals with Milwaukee stuff at Home Depot or online retailers. Just understand who you're buying it from and how they handle warranty fulfillment if you need it. Milwaukee does have an extremely good warranty. It is superior in the industry. They offer a 5-year warranty on their tools, and on similar batteries to the ones that Mac is selling in this flyer, they offer a 3-year warranty. And I know that the warranties for Mac are not nearly as good on the tools or the batteries. In fact, I don't know anyone who has a warranty that's as good on their tools or batteries when we're talking about a pro-grade tool. Now, let's turn to page 2 and 3, where you're going to see a deal that's not so good. They title page 2, Build Your Own Bundle. Buy any 2 different sets and save $150. And these are sets of the 9-piece quarter drive metric universal socket set. And below that, they have the 8-piece quarter drive standard deep socket set. On page 3, they have the 10-piece quarter drive metric deep socket set. And the 10-piece quarter drive metric socket set shallow, and then finally on the bottom, the 10-piece quarter drive standard socket set. And the prices range from as high as $399.99 for the universals on down to $144.99 for the quarter drive shallow sockets. Now, all Mac sockets are made in the USA. I believe they're made in the Stanley plant in Dallas, Texas. And you get a very good quality socket. I would never say anything bad about the quality of a Mac socket because they do make very good sockets. So the issue here isn't quality necessarily, it's are you getting for your money a socket that's superior from everyone else if they're going to charge that kind of money. Well, you have to compare in quality to other brands that offer equally good quality sockets. Some are not made in the USA, like Gearwrench, for example, offer very good sockets. Sonex, very good sockets, but they're not made in the US. And let's take, for example, that quarter drive metric universal set. Are they better than anyone else's sockets? Probably not. They're about equal. They're going to break like everyone else's does. That pin in there that attaches to 2 halves is going to snap, or it's going to floppy, or you're going to wallow out the insides of the fluting in there. That's typical. That happens with every brand of socket. So the question isn't whether or not these are going to hold up particularly well. The question is it worth the money to buy a socket that's made in the US? If we compare this price to the Gearwrench one, for example, Gearwrench has a similar set. In fact, it has more pieces in it for $149. So for the difference of $250, you're buying something that's made in the US, and only you can answer if that's worth the money to you. For some of you, it may very well be, and I applaud you for being able to afford made in US tools at that kind of money. But not everybody can, and that's okay. Just know what it is that you're getting for your money. And if we look at the other prices of these sets, you're looking at Gearwrench ones that are similar in configuration and quality for about half the price. So decide for yourself whether or not it's something that you want to put in your toolbox, because only you know what your budget is. And you're going to have to stay within your means on this one. You have to buy tools that, A, are going to earn you money and are going to last long enough. So the only way you're going to know that is if maybe try different brands and see, are there some that last better than others? Ask other people in the shop what they use and see how much mileage they get out of the brands that they have. Maybe they go to Harbor Freight and buy sockets, or Home Depot, or maybe they get them online or from Northern Tool or any of those companies. Maybe they have Gearwrench ones or Sonex ones, but look around and ask people that you work with what they use and what they trust, but also ask them these 2 very important questions. A, are they worth it? And B, if it comes down to warranty time, how easy or complicated is it to have that taken care of for you? Mac dealers should make it fairly easy to cover these under warranty, but ultimately it comes down to the individual dealer. Some guys like to scrutinize a socket and say, well, I think you were using an impact on it, so I'm not going to cover it. There are guys who do that, and does that void the warranty? Yeah, it does, but in my opinion, a dealer should not ask that question. He should just give you a brand new socket and take your broken, because he's going to return it to Mac, and they're just going to give him a credit for it because they don't scrutinize it. Unless you weld it or grind it or something like that, where there's an obvious sign of misuse on it, then they might not cover it. But by and large, you give a dealer a broken socket, he'll give you a new one. So will the individual dealer on the truck behave differently from how you'd like? Perhaps, and perhaps it won't be as easy as you'd like. You can go to Mac directly with warranty claims, and you can send them your broken stuff, and they will send you new stuff back. Depending on what their backlog is, it could take a long time. I know guys have been waiting a number of months for stuff to come back, so they may not be as good at it as you would like, but there is that avenue available to you. So explore all those things when you go making a decision on how you want to make your purchases, how much money you want to spend, and what are you actually getting for your money, because it's not just about the quality of the product, it's also about warranty fulfillment, working with a dealer, and or working with the company going forward. So I hope this was interesting and useful to you. Take that information not only when you shop for tools, but shopping for anything else in your life, because your money doesn't come easy. You have to work for it. Spend it wisely and make sure that you're getting value where you can find it. So keep watching the channel, because we have other videos coming down the line, which I know you're going to find interesting. I've been doing some live streams lately where we go over workshop culture and new tools for new techs. And we have some coming in the future that are going to discuss tools made in the USA versus made overseas, and a bunch of different topics that have been really hot lately conversationally. So I'd love for you to jump on the live streams, join in the chat, and have a bunch of fun. Leave comments, ask questions, and we'll conversate and correspond in real time. So do me a favor and click down here to subscribe now so that you don't miss any of it. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, use a tool. Don't be one.